I grew up in a big Irish family. We pretty much had a regular Catholic upbringing, really Irish Catholic. I went to a convent, was expelled. I didn't really like school. I didn't like the regime of school. I used to go over to our local park and just read all day. My first boyfriend was a bank robber, believe it or not. But that actually was part of the course where I came from. Then I got pregnant with my son when I was 18, which to have a child and not be married was, well, my mum would have rather murdered the neighbours, I think. It was the best thing that happened to me because it made me focus. By 19, I was living in a hostel, and from there I got my first council flat. I slept on the floor for the first few months because we couldn't afford any furniture. I wrote Dangerous Lady, my first book, when I was 21 because I didn't have the money to go out. I couldn't even afford a TV those days, so I wrote to entertain myself. It was very strange how I got my agent, really, because when I was hitting 30, and it was a big watershed for me, and I pulled all the manuscripts that I'd written over the years, scripts, I'd written stage plays, all sorts over these years. And then I sat down and I started reading Dangerous Lady, and all of a sudden I thought, God, this isn't bad, this really isn't bad. And I decided to try and get published. And so when I got the Writer's Night yearbook, the only name I could find in there because I didn't know whether it was crime, whatever, I didn't know what genre it was really. And of course I've gone on to get my own genre since. But anyway, Darley Anderson. And I rang him up. He said, well, what's your book about? So I told him, and he said, oh, women don't write books like that, but send it to me, I'm intrigued. So this is the gospel truth. I sent it to him on the Friday, and on the Monday evening he rang me and he said, is that Martina Cole? And I said, yeah. He said, it's Darley Anderson, and you are going to be a big star. I think the best way to describe this particular novel, Close, it's sort of like a saga in some respects. It's quite epic. It goes right through the East End life from sort of the 50s right through to the present day. It's the story of Lil Diamond and Patrick Brodie, who you wouldn't actually put them together, but it's a real love affair. But it's about how your love can destroy you, really, and destroy those around you. It's about the criminal underworld in London. Over the years, how it's changed, it's grown and developed, and the characters have had to live within, those parameters, really. Lil Diamond is a fantastic character. She was a great character to write. She's very hard. She doesn't start out like that, but like I said earlier, like most women, when you've got a few children under your belt and no man to look after you, her husband's brutally murdered in front of her and her children, and it sort of changes her whole life. I wrote what I'd like to read. As luck would have it, an awful lot of other people wanted to read it too. The books have a really big impact. People either love them or they can't read them. They find them too shocking to read.